Hey look, we never saw this level intro at all before. Falling into a conveniently placed pool of water after falling down for several miles for what seems to be an eternity, and even though the pool is about only 10 feet deep or something, it doesn't kill us or anything. We're too cool to die. So hello everybody, we're finally at the end of things. Well, we're sort of at the end of things because we still have one level to go through, but this is obviously the boss level that we're talking about here, so this is the last legitimate level of the game. I'm pretty sure that all of you were expecting me to go and say, hey, well, since this is the last level of the game, I expect this to be worse than all of the other levels combined ever, right? Well, you're actually wrong, because I actually do enjoy this level, but let's kill this freak first. Okay, so actually he's disgusted by every single person that he decapitates out there. Come on, you've been doing this since the entirety of your adventure, and somehow this is all new and disgusting to you. Jesus Christ, why are you such a pansy prince? I'll never understand this guy. But yeah, I like this level. Contrary to all of the other levels that we've went through so far, this is one of the few levels in the game which make it seem like the authors did care about the level design just one bit. Okay, so if we took any other game out there, this level probably would still be below par, but if we compare this to all of the past levels that we went through so far, this level really seems like a fucking masterpiece in comparison. Because, well, okay, the beginning of the level is kind of really stretching on and all of this, and yeah, the introduction of this level really is way too long for its own good, but once that we're getting into the meat of things here, this is a really, really nice level. Because, well, there's a few reasons why I do like this level. First of all, the level has some really nice architecture. Okay, this is not good architecture, but like I told, the beginning of this level doesn't count. At least, not for now. And secondly, well, it doesn't really grab you by the hand or anything like that. It's not on such a obvious way like all of the other levels that we went through so far. You need to do some proper thinking if you are to get across the several puzzles which are placed into this level, because this level has puzzles which go beyond stuff like find out the scenery detail, which isn't a scenery detail and which is necessary to go through in order to complete the level. But no, this level surprisingly has very few stupid design decisions, so this is mostly why I'm hailing it as the masterpiece of this game. Why couldn't they do any more levels than that? We will never know. This is Prince of Persia 3D that we're talking about, folks. We must remember that they thought that shit like the floating rune was brilliant enough so that it could be inserted into their game. So here it is. We're getting into the meat of things now. It is the Moon Temple, a marvel of construction which is randomly filled up with bottomless pits, yeah. Obviously enough, this level doesn't entirely escape stupidity. If you were expecting this game to be out of stupidity, well, why are you even seeing this? And yeah, this assassin almost managed to defend herself. The enemies are slowly learning. But yeah, you better enjoy all of those times that you can get the enemies to bug out because, well, unless that you've met... oh shit, yeah. This is the best time ever to take a potion when there's an enemy sniper sniping at you. But yeah, this level also has a shitload of fighting, so you really do need all of those life extending potions eventually when you get there, or just get a huge stocking of all of the cheap arrows, like the death arrows which kill everybody, or the bee arrows or whatever. Don't worry, I won't yell at you if you're using all of those cheap arrows in order to get past the guards. I'll just yell at you because you're really fucking stupid if you play this game for so long. So I'm obviously stupid as well. But hey, might as well be stupid for the entire run. But yeah, this level has some more of those sideway jumping puzzles that we enjoy so much. But yeah, here comes a real puzzle. Did this assassin got out of textures or something? But yeah, let's take an appropriate look. We've got this thing here which got a 1 and a 2 and a 3. and a 4. But yeah, you better remember those symbols in the order that they come in, because they're going to be very important later on. And now we've just make across some giant crystal on a pedestal or something like that. This will be the primary puzzle element of this level and the main gimmick that this level will run on. But before we actually do something with this, we need to find a way to make it work. But yeah, this looks like a temple. Those also remind me of every temple. They all have their spiky traps out of nowhere like that. As well as their dead ends which lead nowhere. But yeah, might as well just dispose of this card while we're here. And as you can see, yeah, I'm not gonna waste my arrows on those chumps because, well, regular arrows at this point of the game are really fucking worthless because, well, only those archers are worth killing with regular arrows because they like only have 4 or 5 health. Almost every single enemy on this level has over 7 or 8 health, so that means that you need to pelt them with as many arrows. Talk about this hours of fun. And good luck trying to outshoot a guy which is homing on you when they have 7 or 8 health. They're gonna have all the time in the world to get to you. But yeah, in addition to being a puzzle level, this one has some pretty death-defying stunts, like this one here. And we also have the joys, which are rope climbing for almost an entire minute. This, however, we could deal a lot without. But I'll try not be too mean at this level for a change, because this level has some nice things going for it. Oh, whoa. I'm here to fight this guy, not to fight gravity. We've already fought gravity long enough in this game, and I don't need it to be my nemesis once more. And yeah, now the prince doesn't want to disturb anybody by doing his huge heart-shattering scream whenever he gets his weapon out. I swear to God that the prince is probably the biggest man-child ever. Whenever he does his absolutely retarded scream like this, when he gets his weapons out, and finally with his inability to open treasure chests by shaking them. And yeah, this guy has some arrows despite him never needing them, and he has some B arrows as well. But at this point, they're pretty much worthless because you're not going to kill anybody with those right now. Only the death arrows or the ice arrows will do you any good here because they allow you to instantly win any battle. Oh, and speaking of arrow, there's also a type of arrows which are name-checked in the manual but which never appear at all in the entire game. They're referred to in the manual as Mazarad's mesmerizing lights. So I figured this is the only reason why it didn't make it into the game, because the name was so shitty. But yeah, that's not the best part of it. Those arrows create lights that distract enemies and left them to watch them in silence. So this is probably for the best that it didn't make it in, because it seems really fucking worthless like hell. So right now we need to go back down to the room that we were in and be careful to not fall into the sides which have the spikes on them, because it's going to be a bit harder to get out of here. Or actually not, because, well, the designers were kind enough to leave some empty space, so you can just sidestep out of the way and you'll make it in. Anyway, oops, no, this is not where I need to go one bit. It can be quite difficult to find your way around the level when you first play it, because this level is so large, and like I've said earlier, it's not on a rail like all of the other levels that we've played so far. It's definitely not as simple or anything like that, and there's a shitload of switches to press, but thankfully the switches will always show you what you're doing, so eventually you'll find out what you need to do. Oh god. Yeah, as much as I like this level, I really don't like this part at all. Because yeah, you remember all of those sideways jumps from the cliff? Well, this section is even worse. We need to jump in this little slide beam here, and yeah, it's ridiculously hard to get it correctly, and you can't go back here, so we need to reload. Alright, I've just missed it by being too far behind, so it's obvious that I missed by being too ahead. And yeah, Good luck trying to do anything here. How the hell did I die? I wasn't even moving or anything, so can I do it this way then? No! Looks like Jesus Christ! Okay, thank God. That probably was the hardest part of the entire level, because this is honestly just badly designed. It's just... whoa, this guy doesn't have any textures neither. All of the archers in this level seem plagued by some really diseased plague or something like that, because they lose all of their clothes and become invisible as soon as they die. Just gotta be teaching you for being an assassin, working in for a furry, and a nutcase who want to marry princesses to furries themselves. And what the hell even happened to this guy anyway? We didn't even see the ruler of the kingdom ever since that palace level where he just killed the sultan and made the blame on ourselves. And yeah, this is the reason why you take the high route, because there's a slicer trap up here. That's quite a sneaky trap from the designer, which is happening really rarely, because either the traps in this game are really, really cheap, such as that fan which came out of the ceiling and killed you, or they're incredibly stupid, such as the floor turning into spikes, those diamond floors from the palace. I mean, Prince of Persia 2 probably wasn't a great game by any stretch of the imagination, but at least it knew how to fuck you over in the ass in an inventive way, and just decided to make you scream in agony with things like lava pits and incredibly inane jumping puzzles in order to jump on top of a horse. But here we go. Now Horb will finally serve up to something. You could speed up the entire process of getting back down here by jumping down, but since we're a boring person and we need to preserve health, we're gonna circle all the way back to that room which had floor traps, and finally come back here into the main hall, which is providing that eventually we get up here, which is proving to be an impossible task right now. We're not an athletic person by any stretch of the imagination, despite me grabbing a pole by falling in at a distance of almost a mile. But yeah, here comes the gimmick of this level. Basically the light which come from these orbs open doors, and right now we actually need to go back here later because we can't do anything right now. We could cross over this gap if we wanted to, but there will be absolutely nothing in here besides we're gonna cross here. But now we can rotate the orb in order to open another door. Basically, well, the gimmick of this level is that there's several of these orbs around and you need to manipulate them accordingly in order to get to the places that you need to go at, as well as killing innocent demon in the process. But yeah, I think that the main reason why those guys are the most deadly in the entire game is because their introductory move is not incredibly long and stupid. Well, I mean, it's stupid, but it's not incredibly long, so this is why the demons are the hardest enemies of the entire game. So yeah, talk about some nice architecture for a change, and the paintings also had a nice touch. And yeah, you don't really need to remember about the symbols entirely, because you see them crop every once in a while. For instance, there were a whole bunch of the symbols scattered again around the Horby thingy that we once pulled out some time ago. And here we go, some more combat. Like I said, this level has probably more fighting than the last 3 levels combined. This is how much baddies that you'll see into this level, and they're usually pretty mean as well. They all got a shitload of health, but most of them also give out health potion. And finally, you can see your favorite death animation for the last time before you never see them again and uninstall the game in spite. Because this is clearly what I'm doing once this is done. And yeah, we can't do anything here neither because those platforms are obviously out of grasp. We're gonna come back later once again. So we already need to backtrack to 2 different locations in the level eventually. This is a whole lot more than we ever had to do. But thankfully, once again, this level doesn't have too much of problems with backtracking. The only level in this game which had really shitty problem with the backtracking was the first one because, well, you needed to go from one end to the level to the other, and this is clearly what made it suck. That's clearly a sign of bad design when you say that the first level of the entire game is the one that involves the most backtracking. Oh shit. Welcome to the center of the earth! The journey is over. I hope you enjoyed. Talk about a needlessly long pit, but here comes a pretty clever trap. Yeah, if you don't swing off your rope the first time, you're going to be swung back into the spikes. A perfectly asshole-ish trap that I enjoy. I really think this is clever for a change. It's not shit like the floor morphs into spikes and kill you. No, this is really traps that are in spirit with the first and the second game of the series. And this is why this level is fun, because it feels nostalgic and it's probably one of the only examples of the 3D of this game leading up to something good. In Prince of Persia tales, a gear spun for a long time in order to make those elevators work. But now the question is, how do we get back here? It's a long way back home, folks. And now, yeah, before we actually end this up, well, we're gonna have a proper fight with the female assassin, and, well, I'm going to showcase how much of a bitch they can be when they don't bug out and have their needlessly long intro. And why the hell can they block your double blade attack and you cannot do it? Talk about this being unfair, but yeah, right now I'm being severely screwed up by them counter-attacking at almost every single opportunity because it's impossible to dodge their move because it's so fast. But you can do the same as well. Alright, here we go. This is the first and only time you will give me trouble. So yeah, I've really done terribly here, but it's almost as if the game expected you to do horribly because she gives you a life potion right after you kill her, which refills some of your health, and right behind you there's another one. It's also not your ordinary health potion. It is one that gives you 3 bottles of health. Praise Allah. Whoa, what the hell? I really think this is a good thing that this thing is over because I really can't think of any more things to say about this game. I have the perfect idea in order to continue the commentary of this. We can turn this into a machinima. So here we go, folks. I'm swinging on this bar. I'm jumping off. I'm also jumping off another rope. Because otherwise, I'm gonna be crushed to death by the spikes. I've climbing in for a minute. And okay, yeah, maybe I should stop that. I'll never understand why people think that first-person commentating or anything is a good idea. So this is why I'm here, to showcase you all of those evils. As well as to showcase you the evils of abandoning your fighting stance the second that somebody rushes up on you with a sword out. Those guards are professional, I'm telling you. Even though they can get across the most fucked up places ever, they can't even keep up a fighting pause for more than 2 seconds. And yeah, right now I was reloading and saving my game because I fucked up, and yeah, saving and reloading your game apparently is a hard feat for a corpse. But I'm not really saying that in order to rag on the game's saving system. Instead, I'm going to do that in the next video because we're gonna see the prime proof that they didn't even bother doing some proper testing on the final climatic stage of the game. The one where you kill the baddie and save the princess. Yeah, I'm sorry, I've spoiled to you the ending, but come on. After playing through the first 2 games, you already know how this game ends, right? Well, we're only here in order to see how exactly it will end. We are gonna learn all of the proper steps into princess rescuing and all of this mumbo jumbo. So we're finally back into the second orb hall, and right now we can finally rotate this part again in order to get to the moving platforms bit that we saw earlier, just in case anybody forgot where we were going at all. So yeah, since I really don't have a whole lot to say about this game anymore, well, let's just do a quick comparison scheme of all of the games that we played so far that led to this one. So really, I'm going to always say that the first game of this series was the best one as far as the original trilogy goes, because the game probably had the best level design because, well, it was just balanced enough. It wasn't too hard, nor was it too easy. And right now our final puzzle piece is being showcased. And if you look at the door on the upper right, maybe you recognize the scenery. Or maybe not, because we've seen that about 10 minutes ago. But this was the first room that we went through when we finally unleashed the light upon the orb, and showcasing the puzzle concept of this level that it entirely runs up on. So right now we need to go all the way back to the first orb room that we went through some long time ago. And yeah, let's just take the little shortcut in and let's follow the light. Light is exactly like a box of chocolate. If you take your box of chocolate and spread it on somebody's eyeballs, they will be blinded and won't be able to see anymore. The same applies with light. It is about time that we were philosophical into this video. So here we are finally back to this part, and now we can do something with it because now there's lights going out to that other orb which is here, which opens the way to the exit of this level. We're almost done, folks. But yeah, they've really tucked all of the really long level all next to each other, only to throw the Sun Temple somewhere in between in order to make a breather moment for the really long level. We've basically had level which ran over for over 35 minutes, 25 minutes. This level is almost half an hour long when you don't edit anything or don't know what to do at all. And finally you had the Sun Temple, which can be beaten in 3 minutes. I've seen a video on YouTube in which somebody beat this level in only 3 minutes. But here we go. Now I've taken the time to talk about technical details, about levels while we were massacring a demon. This is the last proper opponent that we'll see in the entire game. After that, we're gonna be fighting a huge furry baddie. Again, talk about this being incredibly creative. So one last reminder about all of the symbols that we saw so far, because this is where it all applies, folks. Welcome to the Moon Temple board game. And what happens if you don't press the right tile? You die. So any one of you who didn't expect that, raise your hands. Why is nobody raising their hands? I'm feeling lonely here. But yeah, this is where the number business applies here, because you need to press all of those buttons in the sequential order. First you need to press on the sun, then the moon, finally this thing, I think it's supposed to be wind or something, and finally storm, and you repeat the process until you get to the other end of the level. So yeah, that's incredibly easy peasy, but it's incredibly easy to die by doing one of those jumps, because the collision detection for jumps is incredibly terrible at times. So you'll accidentally press one of the buttons that you're not supposed to press. And here we go, folks, this is the end of this level. Coming up next, it's the final countdown. Showdown! Jesus Christ, how could I fuck this up so badly? But yeah, next video, this is the end, buddies. There is going to be tiger meat for dinner. And we will also learn about how the prince expects to spend his holidays after going through such a horrible game. So see you, folks.